Hey, it's Rich Tehrani with TMC. We're here at the MSP Expo, part of the IT Expo TECHSUPERSHOw in sunny South Florida, Fort Lauderdale to be exact, 2022. Pete Calderaro is with us. He's with Ray Allen. How are you, Pete?
Doing great. How you doing?
Oh, fantastic. So for those people who don't know your company and what you guys do, and they can't figure it out from the name,
Yep.
What do you do?
A lot of people can't figure out by the name, which is good. It means they ask us questions, right? So our company is an IT asset management solution provider. So we actually provide asset management solutions primarily around networking devices, network infrastructure devices, Cisco, Juniper, and so forth. Our main go-to-market strategy is actually through the channel. So MSPs, VARs, global service providers, OEMs, we help them and their end customers manage their IT assets, both from a hardware perspective as well as software. We primarily we're really asset-centric, so really core of what we do is around the data and then the information around that asset. So whether there's financially impacting information, like is there a maintenance contract on that asset, when's it due, focus on the renewal of that maintenance contract, is there end of support coming on that device, provide migration suggestions and opportunities based on that actual piece of hardware or software, and then, or is there a software migration opportunity, right? And so we provide a lot of information and especially the business insights on that data, right? So we're data-centric, provide data accuracy, data integrity on that assets. The big piece of what we do is what we call the unified source of truth. That's what we kind of create. We realize that all the different stakeholders in the channel have different views of their install base of assets, right? The end customer has a spreadsheet maybe, or has a CMDB and says, this is what I think I have. You may have the partner or the MSP and say, well, this is what we sold this end customer and this is what they have. Or maybe you have the OEM, like a Cisco, and says, well, this is what's on maintenance, right? Traditionally, those data sets or those data sources do not align. Right? So what we do is we produce this unified source of truth. It's an auditing proprietary tooling that we have. It's auditing capability to understand what matches and what doesn't match, to really start that baseline of data integrity and help them manage the whole life cycle of those assets over time.
Great. Now you mentioned routers, you mentioned some company names. What do you do in terms of tracking and determining updates on equipment that an enterprise may or may not want at a certain time because of potential challenges where that update breaks another piece of code? It can get very complicated in a large IT or a large IT department. How do you deal with that kind of issue?
Yeah. That's why it's important to have that beginning baseline of accuracy, but then we don't stop there. We build up on top of that, right? So it's an ongoing asset lifecycle management offering. We traditionally have a customer success manager that gets involved, that documents the processes. Because you could clean the data one time, but if you're not following the proper processes over time, the install base is going to get messed up again, right? And so what we do is we actually manage that over time, develop automated processes, document those processes, make sure all the stakeholders are following those processes when they're making changes within their environment. They're moving an asset from Chicago to London. Does someone even know that that's even being tracked? Is that maintenance contract following that, right? Is that maintenance even offered in that location?
But how would you know, do you have GPS on the device? How would you know it's in London or where it moved to?
We work with organizations that have maybe network collectors out there. We work with organizations that could provide that data to us, and then that's how we consume that data. Our actual tool is not a discovery tool. It's not an asset tracking device. We're a data collector of that information, and we drive those insights based off of that.
So, okay, I got it. And so it sounds like one thing that you really help MSPs with is helping their customers and also at the same time generating more revenue, because if a product's end of life, you've got to upgrade it or change it, and that's what you mentioned earlier on.
Yeah.
What about vulnerabilities?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually track, from a software perspective, we track those types of licensing and the vulnerability based on that. So again, we could take that and we could display that information. It's like anything else is garbage in, garbage out, right? So we want to take that information, make sure it's accurate, and then display that information based on our business insights. We have a tool called RAX BI, Business Insights, that actually can provide that information back. Sorry. But you mentioned revenue as well, right? So really the three main value or outcomes that we're driving is maximizing revenue for MSPs, right? So we're proactively presenting information back to them based on those tech refreshes, based on those maintenance opportunities. As you know, with the supply chain issues that are going on now, you can no longer wait till the last minute to migrate or upgrade a product, right? You have to actually do that proactively in advance. So we work with them on a proactive basis to actually supply that information. We also supply cost optimization insights back to them. So we work with them to optimize those maintenance contracts that they have or the devices that they have in their network, or are they critical devices that need increased coverage, or are they basic devices that maybe don't even need coverage, right? They can just do a swap on those internally. And then we provide risk management. Right.
That's great. How big is the company?
We've been around since 2004. We have about 120 employees. And we are global. We have presence in India and in Europe and London and Portugal, as well as Poland. And we're based in Chicago.
Fantastic. Is there anything else we should know?
No, come visit our booth, or we're here at the show, and would love to meet more MSPs and VARs and show them how we could help them build their business.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.